researchers have uncovered a critical vulnerability in WinRAR, a popular file compression tool used by millions worldwide that allows hackers to encrypt both Windows and Linux systems with devastating ransomware. If you've ever used WinRAR to open a compressed file, you might be wondering, is any of our data truly safe anymore? In this video, we will uncover how a simple WinRAR vulnerability has become a powerful weapon in the hands of hackers, allowing them to encrypt both Windows and Linux systems with devastating efficiency. Let's start by breaking down this cyber threat that's causing security experts to lose sleep. At the heart of it all is a vulnerability in WinRAR, that trusty file compression tool you've probably been using for years without a second thought. This flaw, officially known as CVE 2023-38831, is like a hidden backdoor in your digital fortress. And a hacktivist group called Head Mare has figured out how to pick that lock. Now, you might be wondering, what's a hacktivist? Consider them as a digital Robin Hoods, or maybe digital troublemakers, depending on your perspective. They're hackers with a cause, often politically motivated. In this case, Head Mare emerged in 2023, right in the thick of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. Their targets were organizations in Russia and Belarus, including governments, transportation, energy, manufacturing, and environment sectors. But don't think this is just some small-time operation. These folks mean business. According to a recent analysis by Kaspersky, a leading cybersecurity firm, Head Mare uses more up-to-date methods for obtaining initial access. They're not just using off-the-shelf hacking tools. They have developed their own custom malware with catchy names like Phantom DL and Phantom Core. It's like they're the evil geniuses of a spy movie, crafting bespoke digital weapons in their secret lair. Let's take a look at these custom tools. Phantom DL is a Go-based backdoor that's capable of delivering additional payloads and uploading files of interest to command and control server. Its predecessor, Phantom Core, also known as Phantom Rat, is a remote access Trojan with similar features. It can download files from the C2 server, upload files from a compromised host to the C2 server, and even execute commands in the cmd.exe command line interpreter. It's like giving the hackers a direct line into your system. But how does this WinRAR exploit actually work? Picture this. You receive an email with an attached RAR file. It looks legit. Maybe it's named something like this, or this. You open it, expecting to see business documents, but hidden inside is a nasty surprise. The moment you try to extract those files, boom, the malware activates, and before you know it, your system is compromised. What makes this attack so devious is its simplicity. It doesn't rely on you clicking on a suspicious link or downloading a sketchy attachment. All it takes is you doing something you have probably done 1,000 times before, opening a RAR file. As Kaspersky puts it, this approach allows the group to deliver and disguise the malicious payload more effectively. It's like finding out your trusted front door lock has been secretly rigged to let burglars in. Once they're in, Head Mare doesn't waste any time. They use a mix of publicly available hacking tools and their own custom creations to spread through your system like a digital wildfire, looking for sensitive data, credentials, anything they can use or hold for ransom. And they're not just sticking to one machine. These hackers are experts at pivoting, using one compromised system as a springboard to infiltrate an entire network. Their toolkit is impressive and diverse. Besides their custom malware, they use Silver, an open-source command and control framework for managing compromised systems. They also employ various publicly available tools like srockstun and ngrok for network traversal and Mimikatz for credential harvesting. However, perhaps the most chilling aspect of Head Mare's operations is its public presence. Unlike many cybercriminal groups that prefer to stay in the shadows, Head Mare maintains an active presence on X. They post information about their victims, sometimes even sharing stolen internal documents or screenshots. Now, let's talk about what happens once Head Mare has wormed their way into a system. This is where things get really nasty. They're not just there to snoop around or cause minor mischief. No, their endgame is far more sinister: ransomware. Head Mare employs not only one but two different types of ransomware, depending on what kind of system they've infiltrated. For Windows machines, they're using a variant of the infamous LockBit ransomware. If you haven't heard of LockBit before, it's been a major player in the cybercrime world for years. It's known for its efficiency and its ability to spread rapidly through networks. For Linux systems, particularly those running ESXi, that's VMware's bare metal hypervisor for those not in the know, Head Mare turns to a different tool, Babuk ransomware. Babuk might not be as well known as LockBit, but it's no less dangerous. It's particularly nasty because it's designed to target and encrypt virtual machines, the lifeblood of many modern IT infrastructures. Let's break down how these ransomware attacks unfold. Once Head Mare has gained access to a system, it starts by exploring. It's like burglars casing a house, looking for the most valuable items. It uses commands to gather information about the domain, network environment, and user privileges. Next comes credential harvesting. Remember that mimikatz we mentioned earlier? It's a notorious tool in the hacking world, known for its ability to extract passwords and other authentication credentials from Windows systems. Head Mare uses this, along with other custom tools, to steal as many login details as they can get their hands on. But they're not done yet. This is where the real damage begins. Once they have mapped out the network and gathered credentials, they deploy the ransomware. The result? Their files are locked away, encrypted with complex algorithms that would take years to crack, if it's even possible at all. And then comes the ransom note. It might pop up on your screen, or you might find it saved as a text file on your desktop. Either way, the message is clear: pay up or kiss your data goodbye. Now, you might be thinking, surely antivirus software would catch this, right? Well, that's where Head Mare's sophistication really shines. They use a variety of techniques to evade detection. According to Kaspersky, the attackers create scheduled tasks and registry values named Microsoft Update Core and Microsoft Core A to disguise their activity as tasks related to Microsoft software. They also disguise their malware as legitimate software, hiding it in directories where you'd expect to find system files. For example, some LockBit samples were named OneDrive.exe or VLC.exe and placed in the C program data directly. So, what does this all mean for you? Well, if you're running a business in Russia or Belarus, you're squarely in Head Mare's crosshairs. But even if you're not, this case serves as a stark reminder of the evolving nature of cyber threats. Today, it's Head Mare targeting specific countries, but tomorrow, it could be a different group with different targets. The use of the WinRAR vulnerability is particularly concerning. WinRAR is used by millions of people and businesses worldwide. It's one of those ubiquitous tools that we barely think twice about, and that's exactly what makes it such a perfect vector for attack. Now, let's zoom out for a moment and consider the bigger picture. The Head Mare case isn't happening in isolation. It's part of a larger, ongoing cyber conflict tied to the Russian-Ukrainian war. As we discussed earlier, this digital battlefield is just as crucial as the physical one, with various hacker groups targeting organizations on both sides of the conflict. One such group that's been making waves is known as UAC0099, first documented by the Computer Emergency Response Team of Ukraine in June 2023. This threat actor has been launching attacks against Ukrainian employees working for companies outside of Ukraine. UAC0099's tactics are strikingly similar to what we have seen with Head Mare. They're also exploiting the same WinRAR vulnerability, CVE 2023-38831, we talked about earlier. But instead of ransomware, they're using it to deliver a malware strain called OnePage. This nasty piece of work is a Visual Basic script malware that can pull in additional payloads like keyloggers, stealers, and screenshot malware. According to cybersecurity firm Deep Instinct, UAC0099 started exploiting this WinRAR vulnerability just 3 days after the patch was released. It's a stark reminder of how quickly these threat actors move. And it's not just UAC0099. Another group, UAC0050, has been spotted by CertUA, sending out phishing emails disguised as overdue bills from Kyivstar, a major Ukrainian telecom company. These emails are designed to trick people into downloading a remote access Trojan called Remcos-Rat. It's like leaving a backdoor wide open for the attackers to waltz right in. What does all this mean? It shows us that the cyber aspect of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict is intensifying. We're seeing a wide array of tactics, From ransomware to espionage, all leveraging similar vulnerabilities and social engineering techniques. It's a digital arms race, with each side constantly developing new tools and tactics to gain an edge. This broader context helps us understand why groups like Head Mare are so dangerous. They're not just isolated criminals out for a quick buck, they're part of a larger ecosystem of cyber warfare, where the lines between state-sponsored attacks, hacktivist operations, and pure cybercrime are increasingly blurred. What are your thoughts on this new form of politically motivated ransomware? How do you think individuals and organizations should respond to these threats? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.